Hi, everybody. It's Skating PJ, and I have something super exciting today. I'm going to be talking to the cast and crew of the Petrichor movie. This was something that my friend Mazen Thomas and I got signed on to do, and I play a television commentator. I know, big stretch, but it was so much fun to be involved, and I am just delighted. And I'm going to just start welcoming people. So let's welcome first. This is Dave Walpole, one of the actors. He plays Eric. There we go, Dave. How are you today?
Hello, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
That I am just great. We have our lead, Maya, Olga Korzak. Olga, so nice to
Hi,
see you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. We have our director, Junga Song. Junga, thank you
Hi.
so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you.
And then, of course, we have our producer, Eugenia Protsko. There we go. We may have some more people joining us over time, but for the moment, this is the bunch. This is the whole bunch. So I want to talk first of all, Yevgenia, about producing this movie. What was the inspiration for the Petrichor?
Well, PJ, first of all, thank you so much. You are so amazing because in a rush of making, and when I just remember that when we met and you introduced us to Patrick Chan, we were already in 2014 preparing for this movie. And then I remembered you because if anybody meets you, he will never forget. And
Thank you.
and then I just emailed you asking if you remember me and if you play yourself basically in the movie. And you answered, yes, of course, and I will bring my friend. But the shock I was in when you called me on the day of the production and you asked me, Eugenia, would you like me to bring the coffee for the crew and the cast? I was speechless for like good 2 minutes. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe such people exist, to be honest.
Well, not at all.
Thank
Truly
you
my
so much,
pleasure.
Vijay.
And you
And
guys are so fantastic. And guess what? We have, just before we get any further, hi,
Wow,
how are you?
hi.
Diane,
Sorry, I honestly
made
couldn't
it.
connect.
You know
And
what?
I wasn't even ready. I literally just got back from the gym and I'm trying to get dressed and ready and sorry.
We're
I'm just
all
kidding.
in the same boat. We're just Evgenia's inspiration for this movie and producing it, and then we're going to sort of take a look at the trailer and then have a huge conversation with all of us.
Yeah, no
yeah,
worries.
so with Junga, we know each other forever, and we finished one feature film already, and then we were thinking about making another one, and it happened that it was the Olympic Games in Vancouver 2010, and we were so touched and moved by the story of the Johnny Rochette and her bronze medal. And Junga, I remember she approached me and she said, do you remember a good skating movie, Jenna? I'm like, well, there are a bunch of them, but they kind of all the same. The woman or the man, then they broke the ankle, and then miraculously survived and overcame all the obstacles, and here we go, gold medal at the end. And Bianca said to me, I want the audience to feel that freaking eyes on their faces. That's the movie I want to shoot. And we proceeded from that. And the story has been changed so many times because, it's a long process. We had a script doctor, we had a couple of editors, but the original idea, it was from Junga and myself.
Do you know what? I want to say that you have a fan already out there. Here's our first comment from Natasha Abramova. I like that Evgenia is zooming from the office. Me too. All right. So, what do you guys think about perhaps taking a moment and taking a look at this trailer of this fantastic movie? You guys ready? Yes. Okay, let's do it.
Все, хватит. Давай домой.
I need to see the light.
Ну что ты сказала? Что ты сказала?
Обращайся со мной как с обузой. I need you to believe in me, 'cause someday
This is Evgenia. I'm sure you already know. This is Maya.
I need to hear the sound to know that I'm alive. hold me in your arms and let me listen to your heart. 'Cause I'm not ready to give it up. I can't breathe. Wanna try a little more to reach a little higher.
I would love to support you, Maya, but you are already 30 years old. You can't compete with the young skaters. All the coaches I know are around your age. Nobody's going to take you on. I guarantee it.
If I'm gonna show them what I can do, I'm gonna have my pick of coaches.
Show me then.
Ты очень рад. Ты лучше меня. Ты действительно хороша.
I know. My father sent me to ballet school when I was young.
Это моя дочь! Под эту музыку я танцую лучше.
So I've got to tell you, how much fun was it to produce this movie? I mean, seriously, especially that last part with the dancing. I want to mention right off the top, Olga, that's your voice singing that song, is it not?
Yes, that's me.
You are an amazing singer. You go by at Liva Music. If
Yes.
people want to follow you on social media, I want to know, start to finish, how long did this take to put together? Anybody? Let's go, Junga. Let's go with you.
I don't know. We were in pre. I had a production 2017 December for my second feature, which is still in post production, and then 2018 February I think I started writing a script. We had a script, but I need to polish like so many times after I talked to Olga, because I met Olga on my second feature on set, and then she kind of inspired me to rewrite the script, and then making story focus on like her story a little more. So that process has been like February to April. Then we went into the pre-production. Then we shoot the movie October, I think. So it's like about a half year process.
And Junga forgot to mention that 8 years before that, we've been studying figure skating. We met amazing people.
Yeah, we auditioned a lot of figure skater to find our lead, but I didn't like really any of them, and so I just put the project on hold, and I was focusing on writing other story. I was into sci-fi movie back then. Then like time just flew by. Then on my sci-fi feature film set, I cast Olga. Then I realized that she can still skate. She was one of a candidate while we are looking for like 2014, 2013 when we are looking for the lead. She was one of a candidate. Then I kind of forget of the movie and everything. Then she inspired me. Okay, I think I should catch up the figure skating movie. Then everything happened.
So, Olga, I want to talk to you for just a second. I mean, people perhaps don't realize, so you've got this amazing music career as well as being an actress, but you were the Latvian figure skating champion, and you were in training to go to the World Championships in Calgary. Was that it? And injured your back, and that ended your skating career. So you had to get back into skating shape. What was that like? Because you're the lead. You're Maya. You're the story that this is all based around.
Well, it was difficult in the beginning because I haven't skated in almost 8 years, and I had to get a new skates because my old skates were like completely falling apart. So I had to bring new skates and go back on the ice. And I remember first couple of practices, I was so rusty, and I was like, I don't know if I can do it. But then the more I start skating, the more I get used to my new skates, and the more the more I went on the ice, I actually felt comfortable, and it felt in like maybe like a month or two, it felt like, oh, like I think maybe, yeah, I can do it. Like, in the beginning, yeah, it was really rusty because 8 years of not skating. Like I was on the ice, but maybe like once a year or something, or once in like half a year, just with friends skating, but not in the sense that I needed to actually do a choreography and I needed to do spins and jumps and actually, yeah, perform a program. So but we did it, and thanks so much, of course, to Junga and to amazing coaches and choreographers who worked on the program, and the ice opportunity we had for the ice was also amazing. And yeah, super lucky.
So I was just going to say, Diane, do you have a background in figure skating? Because you, Diane
No.
Newling, amazing actress, as Chloe, the coach. Tell me a little bit about that.
I don't have any figure skating experience. I did years ago when I was young, but really the character was more of a supporting part and understanding how to have that relationship with Olga. Or Maya, the character. So really for me, my job was to really be someone who was nurturing, but at the same time being tough. Oops, sorry. I hit the wrong
problem.
Yeah, to me, when I looked at the opportunity to do that part, I really focused on what would a skating coach need to be like. And I looked at other other movies that there were skating coaches, and trying to understand from an athlete's point of view what Olga had to do and what Maya's character was all about. And I really liked the idea that, you know, she was coming back from something that was impossible. Like if you watch The Fighter, the movie The Fighter, and you have I don't know if it was Mark Wahlberg, I can't remember the actor that played that, but it's the same idea. Yeah, that's kind of how I looked at working with Olga or Maya, the character, was to really be almost motherly, but also being the professional. So I didn't really think about, you know, did I need to know everything about skating? I really just got into the character and thought what was important was that I was supporting Olga in, you know, in the work that she was putting on the screen.
So Dave Walpole, another amazing actor who plays the character of Eric. I would love for you to tell me a couple of highlights from you about the shoot.
Well, it was very quick shoot for me. You know, I think I was on, Junga, how many days were I on? 3 days, something like that? So
4.
Yeah.
Was it 4? Was it 4 days? So yeah, I mean, so the highlight, I mean, to me, one of the best things is, you know, when you come onto a set that everybody's been already working on for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and then you look at somebody like Olga who's been prepping for something like this for a while. You know, you're a little bit like, oh gosh, you got to bring the best of your ability to that, because you got to honor the script and you got to honor the director, and more importantly, got to honor the leads in it and the amount of work that they've gone through. So, I mean, for me, I just really liked the experiences of kind of working with everybody, and for my own character, the obstacles that he had to go through, because he couldn't be just this easygoing guy that runs the skating rink. You know, he's got to be a bit of an obstacle, and he's got his own problems to deal with. So, but in the end, you know, you have to be. He is a supportive guy. So, yeah, the highlights is always, you know, when I look at something like this, it's always the people that I work with, and it's just great to work with such fantastic people. I feel like I'm going in circles there, but that's really my biggest highlight. Right?
So, Junga, I'm going to come to you for a second. I want you to tell me one of your highlights as a director. I mean, you've directed 1 or 2 features for this.
What?
How many features have you directed before this one?
Before this one, 2.
So you're already very experienced with what can go well and what can go wrong. So let's focus on what went well in this in creating this movie and your directing. What did you think?
I think I was very lucky because of all the cast. You know, it's like our production every day was like, it's not, we cannot afford the long hour production because we got the location, but there's a limitation of time.
Yep.
And then always under pressure. So as a director, if I pursue, like, I want this better, I want this better, I want this better. Like if I start talking spend my time on it, like everything will be behind. So like I had to rely on like short talk with all individual cast, but luckily they understood at beginning like very fast and they deliver the way I want. So I feel very lucky. Without having a smart and talented cast, it was impossible to cope with all the lack of time, you know, like the pressure, everything. But they are very talented and very smart, and they respect me. So I feel I was very lucky.
So I want to hear a little bit about the Moscow Film Festival. Eugenia, maybe you and Junga can talk about that a little bit. You guys have an entry in the film festival, which I don't know from my limited experience now as an actress. Kidding, there is no experience except for that. But what does it actually mean to get into a film festival?
Could I start with a little bit of casting also? I think that the luck, I don't know, the bless from the heavens, but we got the best people we could.
Yeah, like when you watch the full movie, you will understand how everybody are awesome.
For example,
perfect.
when we were casting for Diane's part for Chloe for the coach,
we went through a lot of candidates.
Yeah, and we had a totally different figure in mind. You know, somebody like Tatiana Tarasova. You know, kind of, you know, firm and stern, and you know, and then when Diane
cliche coaches image.
Well, kind of cliches, yeah.
Terrifying.
And then when Diane came for casting for audition. And she delivered it a completely different way, the way we couldn't expect. And we looked at each other with Junga, and before that we saw like 15 actresses, probably 15 actors, and Junga, it's like, Zhenya, it's not what we wanted, but somehow I feel that here is our Chloe. And I said, exactly. So we were so lucky. As for festivals, it is a nightmare for the filmmaker, for the producer to what you have to deal with after the movie is actually done. Yeah. Because when you're nobody, or the beginning, you don't have name, the festival just don't look at you completely. That's why we had aces in our pockets. The ace number one, it's of course amazing cast, but also Eugenia Medvedeva cameo, and Alexei Serebryakov, who was after the Leviathan, he got tons of offers from all over around the world, and he was nominated for Palme d'Or in Cannes, so he became pretty famous around the globe, and so we could kind of sell his face, you know, because it is really vital for a beginning film producer and director. And then pandemic happened. What else I thought could be so wrong with this world, you know? When we're getting we showed the film, and when you expose yourself, you're so vulnerable. You're open to any critics. You're open to any suggestions, to anything. And then, you know, everybody starts criticizing you. And we showed our film to one of the best film critics in the world, the head of the FIPRC, the special film committee, which gives their own Palme d'Or in Cannes. We were afraid of Junga. And then he watched the movie and he said, guys, you've got a fresh, unique, emotional, touchy product in your hands. I would recommend it for the festival's A class.
Wow.
After that, we were so terrified. Like after we send the film to him, right? Like, Zhenya, you know what? If he says something bad, we are end. let's just die or something. Like, we are doing big gamble. Yeah, this is such a gamble. Like after I sent the film to him, it's not even completely finished the version. It was like 80% completed. And then like I'm called Jenya, and then Jenya, you know what? If he say the movie is bad or whatever, I say I'm not gonna give up, but I think we should listen to. We will change everything, whatever he says. So like I was like, but you and me understand that will be like the end of our hope for Petrichor. Then we are waited. Then like,
and then Shanghai was ready to take us, canceled. Then a couple of European festivals, big names, canceled. Then Moscow in April, canceled. And then and we made it to shortlist in Venice. I think for us, it was shock when we learned that we went to the short list, amazing news. And then officially Moscow invited us.
Yeah. And it's like right now, because of pandemic, all the festival, they usually pick like around 300 film, including short film, documentary, everything. But because of pandemic, they only pick like around 50 max, like 30 to 50 films. So it is extremely hard to get into any festival these days because of pandemic. But especially for the big festival, like Moscow is one of the top 10 festival. This is getting into it is such a big deal. Like without pandemic, getting into is really hard. But despite all the pandemic and everything, they scale down, and then they only pick like commercial film, big film, or big names like those film.
Like you see, TIFF is open with Spike Lee's movie. Oh, and they said we support the local filmmakers, the Canadian filmmakers. Honestly, I wanted to make a poster and go to the Parliament, building with the poster saying, TIFF is
Junga.
Hollywood. TIFF is an American film festival. Something like that. And how more Canadian can you be?
Yeah, be careful. Some from TIFF committee might watch it.
Hey, Junga.
Yeah.
Junga. You know what? It's just coming from my being with figure skaters when I worked on cruise ships. I know how important figure skating is to Russia. So when I read the script, I was like,
and Canada,
we're getting into Moscow. We're getting in. So if anybody from Moscow is watching, thank you very much for having us. But actually, that's the one thing that I want to add. The one thing that I really did like about what Junga was bringing to the table is, we have there's a lot of, especially in 2020, there's a huge call for diversity now in film. But one thing that I've always felt that was lacking in North American film is like Slavic, and I don't know if that's is Slavic a positive term, Russian, that sort of Eastern European, that sort of stuff. And you don't see that too often. And I've always thought, especially with Toronto having a very huge population, Serbs, Russians, that it should be pushed very forward. So, that's just something that when I read this script, I was like, thank God somebody's actually finally doing something along these lines.
Well, we're broadcasting live right now on the Toronto Russian Film Festival Facebook page. So
I'm thinking about you guys.
Exactly. So I want to talk a little bit about Alexei Serebrякov. Did I say it right or close? Close.
Serebrякov.
Almost. All right, I'll practice. In any event, I want to talk a little bit about the themes. So I'm going to ask Olga and Diane to talk about the themes because there's addiction, there's depression. Olga, Alexei is playing your father. What was that like for you as an actor to try and sort of deal with those very heavy issues?
You know what? It was very interesting in a sense that I find a lot of Russians actually struggle with the same issues back home. And growing up, that was one of the issues my dad was struggling with. And I remember my mom working so many jobs and trying to figure out how to feed the kids and how to feed a drunk husband all the time. So And I know that I'm not the only one who grew up in a very similar circumstances back home. So it was interesting. And working with Alexei was incredible. Just have this experience to work with him, because I grew up on his movies, and it was so kind of like unreal. The first day being on set with him, I was like, am I dreaming? Is it really happening? And I remember when I booked the role, my mom was really happy that he's in a movie, not that I booked the role, that Alexei is playing my dad. She was more excited about that than about me. But
one little comment. Can I say something? Sorry to interrupt. But Alexei plays not only Olga's dad or Maya's dad in the film. He is a figure of, like, a male figure in Maya's life, because he is a figure skater whom she fell in love with, and that's why she started her career as a figure skater to start with. And then he is her boyfriend, he's her psychologist, he's her doctor. So basically, it's a unique approach, I think, that he actually is every man in Maya's life.
You know, that's very well put. Diane, can I get you to weigh in a little bit on that whole relationship and actually how it impacted you as a coach? Diane may be frozen. Yep, I think she is. So, Junga, tell me about directing that kind of a story that has some of those heavier themes.
Yeah, because like what I tried to make unique and different this figure skating movie than other figure skating movie. Instead of I focus on physical practice, like when Maya decided to go back to ice, like people would just think that, oh, she will work like hard physically, right? Like practice day and night kind of thing. But instead of only having that moment, like I want to show the mental struggle. You know, when you get older and then when you catch your dream again, it's physical. It's like, I think the second thing, the first thing you need to really overcome is like your mental status. You know, like how all the past memory, like the reason you still didn't your dream make come true because like something bad happened in the past. So the trauma you had, you need to overcome that first before you come to the physical or like appearance or whatever, right? So yeah, I try to, the story is more focused on like her mental struggle. So Alexei is the figure of her past, his symbol of her past. So I had to use some kind of a alcoholic or like breaking up, like the regular any girl can go through like a regular mental struggle. So he was the symbol. So I don't think that's a heavy subject. I tried to deliver, but it was a kind of normal situation. Anyone can go through, whether you are a figure skater or a doctor or like nobody, whatever. It's just the normal life still can be like struggle. It doesn't have to be like something really special, you know?
Right.
Diane, I just want to drag you into the conversation a little bit.
That's okay. My internet here is having problem. Has been for days, if you believe it.
That's okay. We've got you now.
Yeah, thank you.
So talk to me a little bit about the process of sort of becoming the coach. And as coaches out there who are watching, who are from figure skating or other sports, there are moments where sometimes the parents overlap with the coach. So how did you prepare for that, especially with Alexei and his character being such a strong sort of, see how delicate?
Yeah, he was, you know, I mean, one of the struggles for me was obviously I couldn't understand Russian or speak it. And I knew that, you know, having to communicate with them would have been challenging, but we had come up with a way to do the work together, and he was very supportive and very charismatic, a very interesting man. So I wish I could have a conversation with him. But yeah, I felt like as far as, am I in the kind of?
You're still there.
I just worry like I'm getting.
No. I'm just being fancy with pictures.
Yeah. So I mean, it was like for me, when I was thinking about playing the part of a coach, I was taking from other like sport. Like I've done sports. I haven't done figure skating, but I have been someone who's been in different types of sports. So I always looked at people that were teachers or coaches and really approached how their attitudes were towards professionalism. And, if someone is really on board to achieve, right? If you've got like in Olga's character, she was determined and she was dealing with so many, like it was like an uphill battle. And I felt, that connection, being someone who wanted it for her, was doubtful, but really saw the strength that Olga had in her character. Then, as that coach, it was almost like I just, hunkered down and became like almost like, on her. And I don't know if I'm answering the question, but
you are.
Yeah, it's like I said, you don't have to be the coach to understand how to be in that character. It's really understanding, what was the goal, what was her struggle, because she was struggling so much, and having, Alexei, who was playing someone who was an alcoholic. And I dealt with addiction personally, not myself, but with people that I knew that had addiction. So I understood how, as that relationship with Alexei, that I was not going to put up with him doing that to her, because I knew she had goals. At the end of the day, what was important, that, Maya was going to get to her destination and I was going to help her. So to me, that part was very different from other parts I played, but I loved it. I mean, when I look at all the work I've done, it was one of those that was challenging. I had to take on a different hat as to how I had to approach that character. But like I said, because Olga's like a really strong character and she played the part perfectly. And then we just had really a good cast as Junga and, everyone says it gelled, I mean, nothing is ever going to be perfect, but, as far as everyone that was on board, everyone did an amazing job. So I'm grateful that I was part of it.
I've got to tell you, so Eugenia, we had a couple of questions before this Facebook Live started. That was great, Diane. That was exactly what I wanted to know. But I also want to know, based on some of our fans, when is the movie coming out? Tell me about the soundtrack. And when do you go to Moscow, and can I come?
If you have a visa, or if you are Russian, yes. If you are not Russian,
next time.
Yeah, it's a very good question. Thank you, PJ. The coming out after the world premiere at the Moscow Film Festival, we can finally approach distribution companies, but we have to decide with Junga whether we want to hit the next year, because of the pandemic, we are eligible for some of the biggest festivals next year. So the question is, we have to discuss it and come up with the marketing plan right now, because we were approached already by a couple of the distributions company in Europe and in Moscow, and we will have some Zoom meetings during the Moscow Film Festival regarding the selling the movie and stuff. So, but I can promise that after Moscow, we will have Canadian premiere, and we're discussing several ideas how to make it happen. Maybe it will be drive-in.
That'd be fun.
Yes, several things. So after Moscow premiere, we will let everybody know when the Canadian premiere, and we would like to open nationwide, but it requires lots of DCPs, digital copies of the film, and its budget. So we have to budget everything.
Yes.
And probably we will start with Toronto, and then we will have screenings in all the little towns around Toronto, GTA, and then we'll go to BC, we'll go to Nova Scotia, to every province.
That's amazing. Tell me about the soundtrack, or Olga, can you fill us in about that?
Yeah, I wrote the soundtrack and I sang on it. My producer, who I've worked with closely already for 3 years, Yovan Yovanov, he helped me to kind of bring it to life and to do all the arrangement. And I was super honored and happy for a chance to write the soundtrack, because I kind of felt so connected to the character and the message she was carrying throughout the movie. That's why it was at the back of my head all this time. But at first I wanted to concentrate obviously on the role, but then when we talked about the soundtrack and Junga kind of give it a try, she's like, sure, you can try, and then she loved it. I was super happy about it. And yeah, because I think I felt super connected to the message I was carrying into the character, that I wrote it within a day. It's kind of like flew out of me.
Wow,
I would
that's
say.
amazing.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the short story about the soundtrack.
Well, this is what I think about the soundtrack. See, myself and Mazen, top left corner, applauding. That's how we feel about Petrichor. That's how we feel about your singing. I want you guys to just please stay in touch. And for the viewers out there, make sure you check out the Petrichor when it comes out. Visit the website, www.thepetrichormovie.com, for all the details. Basically, this has been a terrific way to spend a Friday afternoon. I wish you guys all the luck in the world at the Moscow Film Festival, which is coming up in October. Is that right?
October 1st, October 8th.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be able to find news about that online. You'll keep us posted. In the meantime, thank you so much for taking the time, everybody. You were fantastic. And
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll see each other soon.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Be safe
time.
out there,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.